Okay, but real talk. How do people stay steady when everything around them is pure chaos?
I know, right? Turns out the Gita actually has a couple slokas about mastering action and finding mental balance, literally freedom from suffering stuff.
Beller, hang tight for a minute while we get the episode set up.
Welcome back. Over the last few episodes, we've been building a powerful idea, acting with equanimity, detached from the results. Today, we arrive at the culmination of that teaching.
It feels like we've been circling something really important. I'm excited to see how it all connects.
It absolutely does. We're looking at verses 2.50 and 2.51 of the Bhagavad Gita, and verse 50 gives us one of the most famous definitions of yoga ever stated, yoga karmasu koshalam.
Okay, what does that translate to?
Simply put, yoga is skill in action. By the end of our conversation, you'll understand what this skill truly is. It might not be what you think, and how mastering it is the key to what verse 51 calls liberation from all suffering.
That's a huge promise. Not just less stress, but freedom from suffering itself.
It is, and the Gita lays out the path very clearly. Ready to walk it?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, so yoga is skill in action. When most people hear skill, they think of proficiency, being a skilled painter, a skilled programmer, a skilled athlete.
Right. Being really good at something.
And that's part of it. You should always do your best. But the Gita's definition of koshalam, or skill, is much deeper. It's about the inner state with which you perform the action.
Oh, so it's not just about the quality of the work, but the quality of my mind while doing the work.
Exactly. The skill is maintaining equanimity. It's the ability to act with full dedication and focus while being completely detached from the fruits of that action. It's the practical application of everything we've discussed.
So, a master painter who is stressed about whether their painting will sell or win an award is, in this context, less skillful than a novice who paints with pure focus and joy, regardless of the outcome.
Precisely. The true skill lies in that inner renunciation of personal desire. Your motive is pure, to do your duty, to serve, to create, and your attitude is one of balance. That's the heart of karma yoga.
That reframes success entirely. It's not an external achievement, but an internal state of being.
You've got it. Let's make this tangible. Let's do a little mindset exercise.
Okay, I'm ready.
Imagine you have a big, stressful project deadline at work. It's due at 5 p.m. Picture it in your mind. Where does your focus immediately go?
To the outcome. Will I finish on time? Will my boss like it? What if I mess it up? My stomach is already tightening up just thinking about it.
That's the mind attached to the fruit. It's living in a future of anxiety or expectation. Now, let's apply this skill. Forget 5 p.m. Forget your boss. What is the very next single physical action you need to take?
I need to open the document and read the last comment I received.
Perfect. That is your entire universe right now. Your dharma, your duty, is to open that document with complete attention. Your next duty is to read that comment with full comprehension. See the shift? We're moving from a vast, uncontrollable future to a small, manageable present.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that feels lighter. Suddenly it's not this huge mountain of what ifs. It's just one step. Open the document.
That is the practice. You pour all your excellence into that one step, and then the next, and the next. That is skill in action. You're still working towards the goal, but your mind is free from the burden of it.
It's like the outcome takes care of itself if you just focus on doing each small part skillfully.
You're getting it. And that leads us directly into the profound promise of verse 51. So, verse 51 says that the wise, who are endowed with this equanimity, abandon attachment to the fruits of their actions. As a result, they become Janma Bandha Vinirmukta.
That's a mouthful. Break it down for me.
It means liberated from the bondage of birth and death. It sounds epic, and it is. The idea is that our attachments, our desperate cravings for certain outcomes and fears of others, are what create karmic chains. These chains bind us to the cycle of reincarnation, of repeated suffering.
So every time I obsess over a promotion or a failure, I'm forging a link in that chain?
That's the concept. Your actions, when tainted by attachment, generate karmic reactions. But when you act with skill, with detachment and equanimity, the action becomes pure. It doesn't create new bondage. It dissolves old bondage.
And this leads to what exactly? The verse mentions attaining a state beyond suffering.
Yes, padam gachanti anamayam. They attain a state free from misery or sorrow. And this is a key point. It doesn't mean you'll never face difficulty again. Life will still happen. You'll still have challenges.
Wait, so it's not a magical shield from problems?
No, it's something much more powerful. It's a profound inner peace that isn't disturbed by those problems. Your happiness is no longer dependent on external conditions. You find a stable, unshakable joy within, because you're not riding the roller coaster of success and failure anymore. You are free.
That's a very different kind of freedom. It's internal, and it sounds like it's accessible right now, not just in some far-off afterlife.
It is. The liberation begins the moment you practice the skill. So let's talk about the modern world, because this is where people often get stuck.
Yeah, my first thought is, this sounds nice, but our entire society is built on results. Quarterly reports, performance reviews, KPIs. How can I not be attached to the outcome?
A very common and valid challenge. Karma yoga is not about apathy or not having goals. It's about where you place your identity and emotional well-being. You can plan for a goal, you can work diligently towards it, but you don't let your self-worth hang on the result.
But what about motivation? If I'm not driven by the fear of failure or the desire for success, what drives me?
Your motivation shifts. It shifts from an external, ego-driven place to an internal, purpose-driven one. You are motivated by doing your duty well, by excellence for its own sake, by a sense of service to your team, your clients, your craft, or something even higher.
So instead of I need to hit this target to get my bonus, it's my role is to serve our customers in the best way I can, and hitting this target is a measure of that service.
Exactly. The action is the same, but the inner consciousness is transformed. And ironically, this mindset often leads to better results. When you're not paralyzed by fear of failure, you become more creative, resilient, and clear-headed. Your decision-making improves because it's not clouded by ego.
I can see that. Less stress probably makes you better at your job.
It absolutely does. You learn to treat praise and criticism with the same equanimity. They are just data points, not verdicts on your worth. That builds incredible mental strength and inner peace, right in the middle of a chaotic workplace. Okay, let's bring this all together. We started with Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. Yoga is skill in action.
And we learned that the skill isn't just being good at the task, but maintaining a state of mental balance and detachment while doing it.
Correct. And when we practice this skill, what is the ultimate result, according to verse 51?
We break free from the karmic chains of attachment, from the cycle of suffering, and attain a state of profound, unshakable inner peace.
Beautifully summarized. The path is from seeing yoga as just an activity to understanding it as a state of consciousness that you bring to all your activities.
The goal is the process. That's going to be my mantra for the week. The goal isn't the destination, it's the way I walk the path.
I love that. So here's your practice step, your homework, if you will.
Okay, lay it on me.
Choose one small, mundane task you do every day. It could be washing the dishes, brushing your teeth, or writing your first email of the day. For this entire week, when you do that one task, commit to practicing skill in action. Pour your entire attention into the sensory experience of the action itself. Do it with excellence and care, but with zero thought for the result. Just be fully present with the process.
I like that. It's small enough not to be intimidating. Just one thing. My morning coffee, maybe. Instead of rushing, just focusing on the process of making it.
That's perfect. Notice how it feels. Notice the urge to think about the day ahead, and gently bring your focus back to the action. This is how you build the muscle of equanimity. This is how the grand promise of liberation begins, not in a cave in the Himalayas, but right there in your kitchen.